everybody? Welcome to another episode of SandCity Sports. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing out there in television land? I hope well. Let's go across the board and check our socials. What's going on Twitter? Boop, boop. Twitter looks good. All right, let's check the IG. Boop, boop. IG looking good. Facebook good. Let's go to the original. Yep. YouTube is good. Yes, indeed. Let's get Twitch where it needs to be. Twitch is good. All right. Let's get our levels right. Get the volume correct. Our levels are right. The volume is correct. And we're good to go, folks. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. A lot that's going on. It's a busy day. It's a beautiful day. As the school year winds down, I can't complain. I am blessed and highly favored. Can't complain at all. Hold on, let me get my shot right. The shot is a little bit okay. It's good. You can't really see what the shot is. There's nobody else in there. I don't need to go there, and there's nothing on the screen. So I guess this is where it's at. Okay, check a couple different of the views, and we'll certainly get some art on the screen. But I hope everybody out there is doing well. For myself, it was a good day. It was a busy day. It was a beautiful day. Wise man once told me I'm a better man when I'm a busy man. And I certainly can agree. Have to leave time for yourself. Get my chair right. Chair is good. Have to have time for yourself. So there has to be what we call a work-life balance. But when you're fortunate to have a get-to job, as I do, not a got-to job, working in education, working with the best and brightest, today was certainly one for the books as the school year winds down. Some really cool activities, celebrating the students that did well on their MCAS, put the extra effort in. They got a chance to put a pie in the teacher's face and, hit the teachers with the silly string. And then at the end of the day, did the color run, which was distinctive for me. Had all of these, you guys know when they do the reveal parties, how they hit and it's the pink or the blue. And hopefully at the reveal parties that you guys go to, that stuff doesn't get stuck in your clothes and whatnot. You can just kind of brush it off, so on and forth. So had the color run with the Utes, right? The youngsters working at the elementary K-5 level, and they're just enthusiastic and loving to learn and learning new things and the whole 9 yards. But we got we had blue, we had pink, we had gold, we had all kind of colors, green. And so the kids would just go around and we would hit them with the little, the blue, get some red, get some yellow, with pink, they would just, and it was, I had my Knicks gear on. I had my Knicks gear, Knicks in 5. And I didn't want to get that. And again, it's not dirty. You don't get dirty. It's just the color. It's like a powder. It's like baby powder, but different colors, right? Baby powder, you just kind of rub it. I mean, it's in your shirt, but you just rub it in it. It's not going to leave a stain, not going to leave a mark. But, as the young, they kept coming through, say, boom. So the color run was was pretty cool. It was good. It was a good conclusion. I mean, a lot of the districts are out. New Beige, where I work, the Whalers got a half day on Monday, so we got another day, another half a day. So the last day you can go is the 30th by law in Massachusetts. So we pushing right up to the 29th. But be good. Cross the T's, dot the I's, get everything taken care of, stored away and returned and everything else. Goodbyes. And then kind of blast off into the summer. So today was good. Half day to go. Got a chance to check out a Cape League game. Crosstown rivalry. Harbor Hawks, YD Red Sox. Tie game. Had to leave up out of there in the 8th inning, but that was good. And have you heard about something going on in the World Cup? Small island nations possibly breaking through to the knockout round. We shall discuss. Heard anything going on in free agency? The situation, the soap opera that's going on here in Boston. Have you heard anything? Okay, we're gonna get into that. Some free agency movement in Detroit. Obviously, a major move that went down in the Great Lakes region. Shout out to Minnesota. Anybody feeling Minnesota? We're gonna get into that. But first and foremost, this is me, Casa Su Casa. So I hope everybody out there in television land is doing well, as well as can be expected, right? Depending on where you're at in the journey. I'm in education, so we coming to the end of our journey, going into the summer months. I know a lot of my friends that have different jobs, Belgium and New Zealand. They're getting after it over here. Okay, we got this World Cup has just been out of this world. I'm loving this 11 o'clock games. Again, next week as the school year gets out, I can just lock into these games. A lot of the games have been going on again while we're still in school, so you're getting the updates. The 1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock. You can lock into that. 7 o'clock definitely, but looking forward to just having a little extra time to just sit down, watch a whole game. I love sports, and obviously in an event like the World Cup, is getting into my love for sports and my love of history. The nations, the cultures, so on and forth, the cross-cultural exchange, right? But I just enjoy watching soccer. I love the strategy. I love the chess match. I can watch this for days. So this is great for me just because, and even though the Premier League and all the different leagues and relegation and all that stuff that they have in the world of soccer, which I think is super cool. You can move up, you can move down. You got these mega deals for the players. But I don't know. I know Chelsea. I know Man U. I know Barcelona. Okay, Real Madrid. I know the Bundesliga. I know a little bit here and there, but I don't know deep down. So I don't know deep down. What's going on, Chris? Thanks for checking in. Sand City, we're in the building. A lot to get to. Feel free to take off. With what you have, we are gonna go. There's a situation in Boston that's I got. You know what I mean. I'm not happy, and the way it's gone, and the disrespect that's been shown, and Sand City has been locked in. Yeah, man. England, France, two of the favorites in the Commonwealth. Also, the Tartan Army was been doing what they've been doing in the Commonwealth. The fanfare, it's been good. You want to keep it that way. They push back. People are saying they should keep it. Push back the after hours from 2 to 3, right? Boston, it's in the Northeast, right? Major city. 2 o'clock is a bit early for a notable city, right? NYC, not to compare apples and oranges, because obviously New York City is the largest city in the country. So Boston's not on that size, scale wise, but New York City is 4 o'clock in the morning, so Boston, people I'm saying, come on, can we get a little bit later, 2 o'clock, a little bit early? Can we push it to 3? Split the difference. So that's been, people can go out, be be festive, be responsible. But it's been good. So yes, England, France, powers, favorites. We're gonna start with Cabo Verde. We starting with Cabo Verde, folks. But yeah, right here in the Commonwealth and then across the country, it's a beautiful thing, right? Hope you agree. I mean, how y'all doing out there? To the business. I am your host, one of those on great thing. What's up with you? Thank you so much for tuning in to SANDCITYSPORTS, where we are out there. Thank you for the great news. World Cup we got Belgium and Lucia. And I'm gonna knock out stage right now. Rock with it. Hey, we back. You know how we do on this intro. We don't just get one. It's been a long time. You know I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Hey, what's going on with Free Agency? And of course, we're gonna get deep into the JB situation here. A lot. I mean, come on. I'm displeased. Displeased in a number of ways in terms of that situation. I mean, I can't underestimate the level of, it's beyond concern. I'm disappointed, right? Disappointed is a strong word, is it not? Especially when somebody's as human as myself, right? Your boy's human. I'm no better, no worse than the next person. But honestly, you do. Organization, Boston. It was all good just a week ago, was it not? Was it all good am I mistaken by saying that? Brad Stevens, executive of the year. Boston, a 2 seed, talking about finals run, right? We were just right there like a month ago. Okay. And next thing you know, here we are, folks. All right, it's not it. All right, I gotta get the art straightened out here. I don't know what this is. You love it. I love to do it. You know what I mean? Having a Can I just see an image? Keep taking me to these different pages. I don't want to go to the pages. I'm just trying to get my art so we can discuss Cabo Verde and what they're doing at the World Cup. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's go. There's technical difficulties behind me. Thank you. Get our image right. Picture's worth 1,000 words, and we can dive in. We're starting with the World Cup. You know where to find me. Mi Casa, Su Casa. If you have takes, if you have storylines, if you have narratives, join the conversation. The chat is open. If you know what I mean, what they said in Brooklyn's Finest. You feeling froggy, you got to jump. You want to get on the pod? Hey, let me know. Coming through respectful. That's the number one thing. Then you can be on. But if you just want to, jump in the chat, and that's true, of course, for all those out there in television land, folks on the the Facebook, folks on the IG, wherever, however you might find Sand City Sports, join the conversation. But this is the conversation right here, folks. Right? Cabo Verde. Land what did they say? Land where my father died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. I know that's a song about the United States of America. But folks, your boy is Cape Verdean. It's just a fact. And so you want to talk about blessed and highly favored or just fortunate? You don't know what it does for me, for Cape Verdean people. I'm telling you right now, the Commonwealth president of Cape Verde visited us here in the Commonwealth going into the World Cup, just to give you the sense of the connection. And I know I'm so excited to explain to people and to share with people, because if you're not, don't happen to be Cape Verdean, you don't happen to be from New England, or areas in the country where, right, it's a tiny island nation off of the west coast of Africa, right? Okay, you're thinking Africa, you're thinking Egypt, you're thinking, Congo, Nigeria, Libya, South Africa, Rwanda, you're thinking, because, Africa, ginormous continent. It's true, a lot of the maps are off, not recognizing the ginormity, if that's even a word, of Africa. Okay. And so Cape Verde, yeah, it's this collection of islands, not so different than a collection of islands like Hawaii, off the west coast of Africa. Okay, a strong Portuguese connection. Okay, right, that's a language many Cape Verdeans will know. My great aunt, who's fortunate to still have with us, okay, speaks Portuguese, and then that was not passed down to me. I'm third generation. Hold on. Fourth generation. Cape Verde. Okay, great grandfather Emmanuel emigrates here. In case you wanted to know, just in the background, late 19th century. Okay, born in 1874. So my grandmother, okay, Marie, born in 1927. First generation here on the Cape, right? And you guys might not know Cape Verde, but you do know Cape Cod. You do know Tourist Town, USA. Hopefully you're getting to know the Cape Cod kid. That's me. Hopefully. So you know Cape Cod, right? You're getting ready to, if you're out of school, I hope you're out of school. People are getting ready to pour into this peninsula. We love it. Okay, the traffic, it is, it powers our economy. Our population triples. But it's pretty cool to live in a place where for 6-7 months out of the year, you got to put up smoke signals because it's that quiet. Okay, I'm joking, but I'm kind of not joking. It is quiet in the off season. It's a rural area. And then next thing you know, you look up and you are, okay, the place to be on the national and even international scene. So that's quite a shift. It's nice to have the best of both worlds. I told you, I came from a Cape League game. Went to a Cape League game tonight. At the school where I went to 6th grade. At the school where my grandmother and my great aunt, who's still with us, went to high school. Right? Just a neighborhood baseball field. And yet, on this field are future MLB stars. You name them. All right. Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, Chris Sale, whoever. A lot of the stars. Not Shohei. We didn't get Shohei out because Shohei's, right, other side of the country. Much closer for Shohei to get to California than it is to go another 3,000 miles, come all the way to Cape. So it didn't have Shohei, but all right, it's just a who's who of Major League Baseball stars. All right. So the Cape League is one of the very cool attractions that the Cape has to offer in the summer months. So super cool. What does this have to do with Cape Verde? Okay, it was the Cape Verdean people, folks. I don't mind telling you, i.e., my grandfather. I'm fourth generation. My grandfather, first generation, that built up. Right, this was just a distant maritime, and again, Cape Verde Island kingdom. Kingdom is a little bit much if you don't even have a million people. Belgium on the board, 1-0 against New Zealand. Okay, talk about countries like Belgium. That right, Cape Verde. We can look at this story from so many different angles. First World Cup, quote unquote undefeated, 3 straight draws, earned their way into the knockout round in their very first appearance at the World Cup. All right, it's not an easy thing to do in general, and then this nation that has a smaller population than many of our American cities achieves that. Right, so, and now people Cape Verde, that is so wonderful. Again, I feel it in my bones. I know that Cape Verdean people feel it. Right, that on a national and even international stage. Let me just rephrase that. It's certainly an international stage because it's the World Cup, all right? But nationally here in America, people are saying Cape Verde, like, you know what I mean? Hey, what's going on? It's Cape Verde, right? You might have known if you visited the Cape, if you visited, very prevalent in New England. But somebody who's Cape Verdean, born in the great state of New Jersey, right? Until I visited the Cape when I was growing up in the tri-state area, and then '94 when I came here to live, which was a culture shock, but had so much family, so it really made it help, and I've been here ever since, while maintaining strong connections. Went to college in New York. Shout out to Nyack College, grandfather Jersey, many, Herbie Derby. Gotta get Herbie Derby Wednesdays going on, right? But I until I moved here, spent more time with my family that lived here, really got into the history. I didn't know all this stuff. And I'm Cape Verde. Fourth generation. Okay. So the national piece is super cool, the whole thing. And then the international and soccer, right? Internationally, I think people were more aware of Cape Verde just because, they're competing in all of these soccer events, trying to get to the World Cup, trying to compete in a regional capacity. So I think internationally, people were more familiar with Cape Verde than they may have been at a national level. And this is blow your hair back stuff. My point is, there's so many talented Cape Verdean athletes just being here, meaning in Massachusetts. Many of our breakthrough athletes, Patrick Ewing's Jamaican, different. But I wouldn't be surprised, Dana Barros, if he's Cape Verdean. Bonzi Coleman from New Bedford, breakthrough playing the league, Cape Verdean background. I don't want to speak for people. Right. Again, I'm intimating so that you're not. But what I'm trying to say here, correct me if I'm wrong on this, folks, is we got confidence. Okay. And clearly, this team breaking through. So now we can, but I wasn't picking these guys, to make it to the knockout round. I'm not going to go that far. But what I'm trying to communicate, and I hope I'm doing some kind of job. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jump in the comment and you bum, you stuttering and bumbling and stumbling, and it's not making no sense. Go ahead, let me know. I don't know. I'm doing my best here. But the point is, I'm not going to say there's a hubris. I'm not going to say there's, a chip on the shoulder, for Cape Verdeans and how we feel athletically. but I simply letting folks know that Cape Verdean athletes have shined bright in Massachusetts, in New England, and have broken through to play on the professional stage. And so it's not shocking for people in the Commonwealth, people from the Cape, New Bedford, Brockton, right? Whatever the case may be. And Brockton, Titletown, USA, Boston, number one sports city in the country. We can go back and forth on that. Certainly times are tough right now. Celtics are struggling, and the next thing you know, as soon as the Celtics struggle, then the Patriots, after 4 disastrous years to end the Belichick era, okay, break through and make a Super Bowl, okay? So one of your historic franchises stumbles and bumbles, then another of your more recent powerhouses, right? Okay, the Patriots, they don't got roots going back to the mid 20th century, and really until Bill Belichick rolled into town, and a little bit before that, Bill Parcells rolled into town, early 90s. Patriots didn't have much to say for themselves. Let's keep the whole history. Okay, let's remember the '86 Super Bowl where the Chicago Bears put them heavy hands on them. Okay, but now we just think from the Belichick years forward, and dynasty, and so it hasn't always been those sunshine and rainbows for the New England, formerly the Boston Patriots. Okay, but all the way back to Cape Verde, folks. Okay. This small island nation off the west coast of a ginormous continent has played a significant role culturally, socially, politically, economically, and yes, athletically. Played a major role in Massachusetts and New England. Okay, you talk about Rhode Island, you talk about Maine. We'll leave Connecticut for the tri-state area, New Hampshire, right? The Cape Verdean heritage, legacy, and athletic prowess is well known here, all right? And so, just letting folks know, it's not a chip on the shoulder, but I know a lot of people feel like, hey, Cape Verdeans, we can get out there and compete with anybody, and that's what the world is seeing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Cape Verde knockout round. Yeah. And now you got to be careful what you wish for, right, folks? Why you got to be careful because you might get it. You got to be careful in life for because you might get that what you wish for, and then you're responsible for it. What are you going to do with it? Okay. We think that as soon as I have that one thing, just like Fight Club, super cool to see Ed Norton and Brad Pitt at the World Cup came together. We're going to get some art about that on the screen. Super cool. Okay. Careful what you wish for. You might get it, and now you're responsible. Right? Can you get something, but then now you're responsible for maintaining that something. You're responsible now. You got to maintain it. Right? Right. And so, case in point, with first of all, before I get to the Cape Verde on the field, what I'm trying to say with that is celebrate responsibly, people. I know this is big. It's on a Friday, right? The game's on a Friday, so you got the weekend. You got summer. People have time. People, hardworking people, right? You want to celebrate. You wanna, you want to get out there and be active. Okay, I get all of that. I get all that. But we don't need the tomfoolery. We don't need the antics. We don't. I'm sorry. And that's what was the case, those sad reports and stories that you saw when the Knicks won the championship and people vandalizing restaurants, just awful. These are your neighborhood restaurants. I remember my grandfather used to talk about it all the time. Lived through the riots in the 60s. Lived through them. Okay? In terms of what this country was going through. Right? Social, political. religious upheaval, right? Grandfather, was driving people around during the Newark riots. People jumping in my grandfather's vehicle. I'm not sure if he had the SUV back in those days. To get from point A to point, jumping in the vehicle with a television. Where'd you get the television? Don't ask no questions. Let's just get there. Well, my grandfather says, Newark riots and responding to police brutality and injustice, which have reached a boiling point, 100%. 100%. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Okay, when the social contract is broken, it's not just a crime. There's real consequences. Innocent people are caught up in the system at times, not just in the system, and they shouldn't be in the first place, but then they get in the system and they're mistreated, suffering different. It's real consequences for people that, are otherwise productive members of society. Not going too deep down this political path, but simply to say that builds up and people, rebel. But the point my grandfather was making, and it's true to this day, is, so there's folks, running, raging, rioting, yeah. And whose neighborhoods are getting torn down. You're tearing down your own neighborhoods. What are you doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? What does it have to do with the Cape Verde national team breaking through to the knockout round? I'm saying the same thing in terms of what's happening right now, people. Celebrate responsibly, please. It's hot town, summer in the city. They're getting nitty. I feel all of that good stuff. It's a beautiful night at the ballpark. Beautiful. Yes, it's a little bit humid. Folks, we were under 2 and 3 feet of snow. Do you forget the type of winter that we just came through? Kidding me? Breaking the record of 78, 50 doggone years. And that record, you came tumbling down. Are you kidding me? Finally got some sunshine. Maybe a rainbow, maybe not. I don't care. It's a beautiful thing to have this opportunity to be in this good weather and share community. Beautiful thing. Right? And Cape Verde national team breaking through. A lot of, just, yeah. But we got to celebrate responsibly, folks. We got to celebrate responsibly. Can't have the tomfoolery. Can't have the nonsense. Can't do it. All right, celebrate responsibly. All right, so I've gone, through the background, through the culture. May not be a cup of tea. It might be a cup of tea. I'm speaking. This is right. This is my background. This is my heritage. Keeping it a buck. I have friends and family that born and raised Cape Cod. Again, my grandmother is first generation Cape Verdean. My grandfather's family comes from rural Georgia. Right? Grandfather born 1925. Right? I'll continue to talk about history because it's indispensable. Gives you a fourth dimension that you can understand the world through. Very important. Right? So my grandfather's born in 1925. The height of the Jim Crow era in this country. Minority communities terrorized by organizations while the government looks the other way. Yeah. And of course, 1925 is the roaring 20s. But, when my grandfather's 4 years old, those roaring 20s are going to go over the cliff and into, right, a Great Depression. So my grandfather is 4, when the stock market crashes. Actually, he might have been 3 because his birthday's in October. So, yeah, I think he just turned 4. What is it, October 29th? Stock market crashes. Grandfather was born on the 16th. So, yeah, stock market crashes. Already subsistence level. That's all you can be allowed to do at that particular point in time. And then you're in a situation where 1 in 4 Americans doesn't have work. Okay. And he lived through that and went on to serve his country in World War II, so on and forth. I bring that up, I think about that. Times get tough. Right? When I say tough, going gets tough, tough get going. So that's part of the reason I went down that line of thinking. The other part is just, yes, to clarify for people kind of what's happening right now in real time, Cape Verdeans, and I'm, grandmother's Cape Verdean, grandfather's African-American, rural South. Right. Mom, next generation, third generation in this country. Young on Sand City Sports. And Pops, his family is from the South. DC area. North Carolina area. So it's my experience is a little bit different than folks. Both their parents are Cape Verdean, and they've always lived in a Cape Verdean part of the country. Again, i.e., Massachusetts, big, and then you can look at New Hampshire, Maine, maybe. But a lot of Massachusetts connections and a lot of Rhode Island connections. Smaller state, but so let's celebrate responsibly and let's look a little bit further into this historic achievement for the Cape Verde national team. All right, and as they say, we're not gonna knock the hustle. We're not gonna knock any hustle. Right? All I'm saying is sometimes, right? Not knowing is a benefit because you not allow yourself to become bogged down in this, that, and the third and the fourth, right? So I do feel Cape Verdean national team being out there with a nothing to lose attitude is huge benefit. Okay, whereas other countries, Belgium holding on to a 1-0 lead. Okay, New Zealand could come back at any time. All right. Other countries who have track records at the World Cup and expectations. Okay. See, we're getting better with the technology. See how we just switched over? Blah, blah. Getting better. Learning it, a thing or two here and there, which is good. Yeah. I think that's playing to Cape Verde's advantage. Okay, there are new kids on the block that we're just happy to be here. We're going to go out and play our best and let the chips fall where they may. We don't, we got nothing to lose. Whereas it is a real thing. These other clubs, Uruguay caught the second half of that game, and they were buckling under the pressure. Okay, Belgium right now. Right. First half, I mean, there's teams, and a lot of these teams, you don't make it to the World Cup unless you're a very good team. And talk about Uruguay, they've won 2 World Cups. I say, oh, snap. So if you have that, you got you They have expectations. Not that Cape Verde, just wants to show up and get clobbered. But I do feel that, again, we're just new to this venue. We had to work really hard to get in this venue, and we're just going to go out there and throw caution to the wind and do what we have to do. So having that approach can be very helpful versus the other approach. Well, we got this expectation and people are expecting and this, that, and the third. So if I don't, what's going to be the backlash? And you start, right, working yourself into, a less than positive mindset, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling reality. Right. So shout out to Cape Verde. Toast to the town. Love to see it. All right. And your reward is you face the defending champions with a player that recently made history. All-time leading goal scorer for the World Cup. And so that's where the Cape Verde, the David and Goliath, for real. Okay. If I'm Argentina, I'm saying that this Cape Verde team played Spain to a tie. So all bets are off. All right, you just let this team hang in there. They're just going to hang in, stay together, wait for, any sort of error, and then strike. And possibly, take down another team, another good team. So shout out to Cape Verde advancing to the knockout round. Nothing to lose attitude. Right. And, they're going up against the best of the best. Lionel, defending champions in Argentina. All right. So how's everybody out there doing in television land? What the heck is going on? I have no idea what happened on the IG, the Facebook. Give me the boot. What the heck is going on? IG still good. YouTube still good. Twitch still good. Facebook, I'm supposed to be live here, man. I don't know why I'm not. I don't know why Facebook kicked me out. For no good reason. Excuse me. All right, shout out to Cape Verde. So we go around on the socials and check to see what's going on. All right. What did Busta Rhymes say? If I can't be part of the greatest, I got to be the greatest myself. We got MJ in the building. MJ is in the building. Got a basketball tournament tomorrow. Important tournament. Really good cause. Get that for you on the screen. Just to shout that out before we dive into, right, the Celtics talk. How y'all doing? Feel free if you got World Cup stuff you wanna before we're gonna talk about the local hoops. Got a tournament coming up for a good cause soon. We doing on the local, and then we're gonna go to we're gonna move over. Talk about the C's and where they find themselves. But we're gonna start, as I say, on the local level. I don't know how many times I can say local in a particular quote unquote segment. Said it more than a few times. All right. Very good. Let's go here. Okay. Here. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, busy day, beautiful day. Just fortunate. School year winding down. Cape League was great. Weather was wonderful. And I'm fortunate that, I got a chance to officiate. So tomorrow I'll be officiating. Be doing a tournament in Mashpee, which is the next town over from Barnstable. If you're a Cape person, so tomorrow will be. I believe this is the fourth annual. 24, 25, 26. Fourth annual. Ryan Michael Hendricks. I Got You Memorial Basketball Tournament. It's again, if you're a Cape person, I keep saying it, but it's in Mashpee, which is kind of Barnstable, mid Cape. Mashpee is similar, a little bit over to the side, because you can get over to Falmouth and Bourne from Mashpee rather readily. But it's super cool. It's right, borders Barnstable, so you 10, 15 minutes down the road, 20 minutes down the road, and you're there. So, again, it's a tournament. Very good cause. Organization raises funds to provide scholarships to students and help them on their way. Okay. Ryan Hendricks was a very good athlete as well as a student at Mashpee. Played football and basketball and made a notable contribution to the school, to the community, helped people in many ways. Okay. Ryan passed away in an automobile accident as a freshman in college. He's going to visit family. Went to Coastal Carolina University. And so I'm not, it's the family that puts on this tournament as well as a number of other events throughout the year, again, to raise money for these scholarships that are given in his name to students in Mashpee. And I have to get the clarification. I know they give a lot of scholarships to Mashpee students, and I'm sure those the funds that are raised go to help students in other districts as they're moving forward with their education. So this will be, as you can see, tomorrow. It's going to be just the one-day tournament. It'll just be the 27th. Years past, they've played one or two games on the Sunday. Usually the semifinals and then the championship. On the Sunday. But this year, be able to power through, get done 7, 8, maybe 9, probably closer to 8. Tomorrow, and it's just, again, the family does a tremendous job. Tournament is well run. People come out. The community really comes out to support the cause. And it's just a very, how do I say? It's just a spectrum of people from different backgrounds and towns on the Cape and different, ways that they knew Ryan or the family, and it's a well done tournament that brings people together, and supports a very good cause. All right, so I got you, Ryan Hendricks Memorial Tournament. This will be 4th annual tournament, and there's real push and effort just to make this just an annual event that people mark it on your calendars. What the time's going to be. It's going to be a quality tournament. Put your team in or donate a certain type of a way, and just right keep this money for these scholarships going. All right. So that's tomorrow, and I'm fortunate to be a part of it. Okay, folks, let's get the art for, we gotta, where do I go Celtics and let's get some more art on the screen. This is analytics to me, run amok. Okay. Right? Talk about being careful what you wish for because you might get it. The Boston Celtics, all right, plenty of smart guys and so on and forth, but sometimes you just leave well enough alone. And somebody did some AI stuff, and that's good and well, folks. That's good and well that the AI said XYZ ABC. But in real time, it doesn't go like that. It doesn't flow like that. All right. So it don't go and it doesn't flow like that. But we just got to get a little bit of perspective. Just a tad. In terms of what we're talking about with this Jaylen Brown trade situation. We need somebody. Is Mina Kimes still doing right? In the trivia show to win $1 million, or we need somebody to come in here and talk some sense. That's what we need. I'm gonna do my darndest here. These headlines look like typos. All right. No yawning, Sand City Sports. Celtics unwilling to part ways with Schlierman and Gonzalez for that's why because analytics said these guys are going to be anything more than role players, that Celtics said, no, I'm not doing this. I mean, how many role players were included in the Kevin Garnett deal? Well, the Celtics, they're not going to be able to compete. They're not going to be able to, right? When they go, you gave away too much to get KG. People showed up. Posey shows up. Eddie House all of a sudden gets here. Right? You can make little or no money playing on your bottom feeder team in Podunk, or you can come over here and compete for a championship, be under the spotlight, making the same, if not more money. What are you going to do? Oh, okay, come on. But the Celtics don't want to part with Schleierman and Hugo. Cool names though they may have. To do something they shouldn't have even been thinking about in the first place. I don't know what to say to you folks. Right? These are role players. Right? These are players that you can find either in the draft and free agency, whatever the case may be. These are not guys that stir the drink. They're not the star. They're up in the drink. They're not the straw stirring the drink. And that should be obvious to everybody. I don't know what the analytics said, and I don't care. On this one, I'm just going old school eye test. Come on. Shouldn't have even been in that race to begin with for Giannis. And then you get in that race and you're okay. Well, then you start saying, well, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. Now that people know that you even considered it, you either got to do the deal or apologize. And they obviously didn't get the deal done. So I'm waiting on the apology to JB. Yeah, I'm just waiting. It's just that simple. Okay. See if anybody thinks similarly different. Folks. Okay, so World Cup, right? Still, I'm going to lock into this game. We're going to pick this back up tomorrow, right where we left off here. Sand City, shorter episode. But we're going to come right back into the Celtics. Thought we touched on, right? Good amount of slice of life stuff for me. Let me know how you feel about that. Cape Verde World Cup, historic stuff. And we will dive headlong into the Celtics situation. Next episode should be tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. If not, we'll say Sunday. Yes, indeed. What's going on, folks? SandCity. Go.